Trollord Games. Join the fray.
Hello, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome back to QuestJunkiesUK. Welcome back to Rime the Frostmaiden, and welcome back to the icy shores of the Sea of Moving Ice as we return to our Rime the Frostmaiden campaign. I hope that all of you lovely players and folks hanging out here are having a nice time and having a good week so far. I'm looking forward to jumping back into things here. Now, last time we were here in Icewind Dale, our adventurers travelled under the guidance of Velen Harple, their arcane brotherhood friend, in inverted commas, who had told them the direction they needed to head in order to find transport. Although she would not elaborate onto quite what she was talking about. So they went swooping across the ice floes and those snowy wastelands of western Icewind Dale and came scooting down to the edge of the water where the shifting flows of ice and icebergs was moving and undulating out beyond the craggy coastline. As they came swooping in, they discovered some kind of habitation here. There was a small abandoned hut, unused for many years, it seemed. And they had heard, Ciara, the local, had certainly heard, that this was the hut of a druid. And they had awakened a whale. Hey, Mac, how you doing? They had awakened a whale. And this whale was apparently going to be their transportation. They had a look around and they saw out on the ice at the edge of a natural stone arch a jetty with a bell on the end. And they ventured out onto the creaking ice and gave it a good ring and waited for results. The initial results were not so great, as some giant vultures swooped in, hoping for an easy meal. That's not what they got, as our adventurers swiftly dealt with them, and as the last one desperately tried to flap away and escape, our little awakened shrub friend Barry, just dabbling his roots in the adventurer's life, lashed out with his first ever attack of opportunity, and brought the mighty beast down onto the rocks and ice below. They then felt a surge of the water in the nearby opening to the icy depths below, and as the water rose up and spilt out over the ice surrounding this hole, a massive, smooth dome of a whale's snoot came emerging up out of the water, and attached to that whale was a very large ship strapped onto the back of this whale. And it seems the rumours of an awakened whale were true, as the whale turned to you all and addressed you, and wanting to make sure you were of the right ilk, and wanted to make sure that you could prove yourselves to be worthy of a journey underneath the waves, and hollered up to the captain of the said ship on their back, as they called up to Captain Thunderflash, and a broad-brimmed hat, mustachioed fellow hollered over the side at you all. That is where we left things last time, and where we're jumping back in right now. Now, before we jump back in properly, let us say a few thank yous to these lovely players of mine, and people in chat as well, thank you. And anyone looking around there, thank you for joining us, and catching up in the VOD squad as well, of course, always a pleasure. If you want to catch up with any of the VODs, head on over to the YouTube, which is there. And there's our Twitter and Instagram as well, if you want to see what's going on. Although the best place, of course, is the Discord. Our followers Discord. Give us a follow, and I will send you the Discord invite in your Twitch whispers. and you can jump on in there, which is where all the news comes out first, and we can hang out and chat about stuff, and you can share your projects and all that kind of thing. Big shout out, of course, to the wonderful folks over at Sirenscape, sirenscape.com, for a free 30-day trial of their amazing sound effects, as we can hear right now, and the music that you can play there. And, of course, to our sponsors at the moment, we have the fabulous Troll Lord Games, coming off the back of a fantastically successful Kickstarter, which finished up with our special one-shot we did for them last week. A lovely, lovely time. Thank you to everyone who joined us for that. Do head on over and check out Troll Lord Games. I think I think I updated that. I was like, is that still going to be the Kickstarter link? No, it's okay. Head on over there and check out all of their fantastic stuff. D&D stuff, and of course their own system, Castles and Crusades, which is a fantastic stuff. Crimson, Rockstar, hello to yourself. And we also have our friends over at Nathrax 3D Minis. Let's see, make sure I've got this turned on properly. Boop. Yes, if you, hey, speak of the devil, how you doing, Chillisized? As you can head on over to Nathrax there and use that code, PhoenixUK, to get yourself a nice discount on some beautiful miniatures. Please do go and check them out. Right, okay. Now, as we return to the Sea of Moving Ice, as we return to the mighty Angajuk and one Jebediah Thunderflash, we shall catch up with these fine players of ours in just a second as we jump in to this week's Rime of the Frostmaiden. And welcome back. Okay, everyone. So, let us meet these lovely players and then jump into things for tonight's session. But before I do, I didn't mention it, sorry, before, the giveaway is open. If you would like to, please jump in and get your chance to win any single digital product from the Troll Lord Games catalogue that you wish. So please jump in there. Great opportunity. Let me type that in there. ! Enter for your chance to win, everybody. Please do jump on in on that. We shall draw the winner at the end of the session in a couple of hours. Right, okay, so going around clockwise today, I think. Mummy. Sorry, wait for the tea to be consumed. Who are you in real life? Who are you playing, and where are they at right now?
Hello, I'm Sabrina. I play Mama, the Gloomstalker Ranger Gallus, who's an archaeologist up here in 10 Towns looking and exploring, and at the moment I am just in awe and shocked by this giant whale with this ship on its back, and just like, wow. And yeah, it's just like, it's so huge and I'm just so tiny, 4-foot Gallus.
Yeah. And it's just the head is just peeking out, and then the prow of the ship is coming up out as well. Okay. Thank you very much. Tuln, who are you in real life? And who are you playing? And where are they at?
Hello, it is me, Tuln. In real life, I'm known as Josh, otherwise known as Lovely Player, apparently. Now, I, Tuln, am quite interested in this ship, boat, submarine thing.
Got that.
And we're going to investigate further, so.
Thank you kindly. Okay, and last but not least, Soyala, who are you in real life? Who are you playing, and where are they at?
Yes, hello, I'm Sarah. I play Soyala, the life cleric backbeat, and yeah, I'm amazed that this rumor is true about this whale. That we'll be able to hopefully ride it. I think the worry is starting to get into her now. That this is happening. We are on our way to try and fight against Coral, and yeah, she's with Chase leaving and Shadow leaving. Yeah, I think it's making her worry a little bit more.
Fair.
But yeah.
Okay. Right. So, that is where we rejoin you fine people as one Jebediah Thunderflash. Let me get my facial hair on. Get properly suited up. Where are you, Jebediah? Scroll. There he is. Okay, so yes, he was leaning over the edge of the ship that's balanced on the back of this huge whale. There he is. Now, if you fine folks wouldn't mind introducing yourselves to my friend Angajuk here, then we might see about giving you passage on this here Santiano. You can see on the edge of the ship, on the front, on the prow there, just up against the edge of the bulwark there, in kind of gold lettering, it does say Santiano on the edge of the ship.
Cosmically, I feel as though the tables have somehow been turned, however.
What do you do? Over to you, my friends.
Well, I'm Soyala. Nice to meet you.
Howdy. There's a time when a walking, talking cat would have freaked me the hells out, but, well, I've been on quite the journey and seen so many things. Oh my god, a talking chicken! No, he's fine. He's cool.
Okay, I was just like, hello, I'm Mamet. I'm a archaeologist for Luskin University here in 10 Towns. Nice to meet you.
And you, I must say, what is your area of expertise?
Oh, archaeology.
Any particular civilization?
The Netherese.
Netherese?
Or, yes.
I can't say I've heard of those folks.
And also a little bit of Frost Giant.
Ah, that there is a whole ton more of. Down under there. And he kind of gestures back towards the ice.
I see. That's fascinating.
They used to populate these waters something fierce, if I've learned what's true. Angajuk and I have not been here for the greatest length of time, but we've had a little poke around here and there. And you? What are you, some kind of autognome?
I mean, that's close enough, I suppose. Well, I'm Taln. I'm a walking, talking metal man that I'm a purveyor of some variety of concoctions that may or may not be able to assist you.
He shudders momentarily. Reminds me of yeah, never mind.
If the assistance you're requiring is inebriation, I can assist with that. But some people seek my assistance that may not need it.
Well, of all the sights and sounds and peoples I have met, I have in equal parts found a great many delectable imbibations. We'll see what you got. But it's not me you need to impress. It's my friend. He nods down. That's Angerjuk. Now, excuse me, I'm gonna get things shipshape before we submerge once more. Mr. Marlowe! Mr. Marlowe! And he turns away and starts talking to people out of sight on the ship.
I suppose we need to discuss with this very large submarine animal.
You could just say whale, Tom. You could just say whale. That submerges into the water and becomes a marine animal. I'm gonna stop.
A submarine animal, as you could say.
My name is Angerjuk.
Oh, Angerjuk. Hello. I am Tom. I am a terrestrial animal.
Where are you wanting to go? What is your purpose? And the little dolphin pops up. Not you! I said purpose.
Oh, I get it, because that's a submarine porpoise. Learning a lot about fish life recently. Anyway, there's an island where the Frostmaiden is held up. She's causing this, the ice and stuff. That's
Limstaff.
That is a treacherous place. There is a predator large enough even to threaten me.
We heard a rock. A bird of some sort, I think.
Gigantic bird of prey. Took a big scrape out of my tail the first time we went there.
The first time? This is not your first time going there, then.
I know where the island lies.
What brought you that way?
Exploration.
if it's any consolation, we're going there to make the bird have kind of a bad day.
That does go some way, yes. Now, why should I risk my friends and myself for that bird to have just a bad day?
Hopefully it would be a very bad day, but that excluded this, eternal winter is not great. It's not going well for everybody.
Doesn't bother me.
That's fair. But it does harm people such as your current passengers and your current crew.
No, we're all pretty good under the waves.
I mean, how do they eat?
Fish, mainly.
Interesting.
Every now and then one will accidentally swim through the bubble.
That's quite fascinating, actually. Yeah.
And then if I can swoop through a big shoal, we catch a bunch of them.
That's actually quite interesting. I'd like to see that, but
Mabit opens up her journal and trying to fiddle through stuff, trying to find inspirational speeches, like from Shadow, from Mockingbird, from like anything inspirational that they said. Was like, I got nothing. We lost like all our like. Oh God. So yeah, do you have anything to like convince them you're local?
Well, I mean, we just wish to help the people here. Um, it's been a long while that we've been under this winter, and of course, if it was to continue, life up here as we know it will decrease more and more.
Life up here. You mean those who would come and hunt me? Several have tried until Jebediah and the others fought them off.
Maybe if they knew more about you, they wouldn't.
There was one who knew a great deal about me.
And they look kind of forlornly towards the hut.
But those hunters took her away.
When was that?
Why?
She was trying to protect me. Quite
Well,
some time. Sorry. I do not measure time in any way I could tell you.
Well, I suppose then, this person must have been important to you. I suppose it's just as a token, you should probably have this. Takes the pendant he found.
The bling I gave you.
And you walk over next to Angajuk,
Yeah.
and you just walk up and let this one huge eye just like regards the pendant.
Not a bad likeness. Thank you.
And
You know-
for what it's worth, I mean, we can definitely let others know that about you, and if you're able to help us, how you helped save the 10 pounds.
Perhaps I could. Although, I shan't be here forever. Places to be. So many more seas to swim.
I could just imagine the stories. Oh, I should write this in my journal. Like, think about it, guys. Like the great whale Angerduke saving the 10 towns from the eternal winter of the Frostmaiden. Doesn't that sound like a ringer? And then just start writing it down.
That kind of flattery will probably work better on Jebediah than me, but... Now...
And they start to sink into the water.
Where are you going?
Wait.
And they sink out of sight and bring the ship down to the level of the ice and then stop moving. And Jebediah comes walking over.
Oh! Oh, congratulations. I wouldn't dilly-dally too long. Angajuk doesn't like to not be swimming for too long. I see. Jump on while you can. Come on up.
All right.
And throws like a rope ladder over the side.
Oh, how am I gonna get the shield guardian here?
It kind of like side eyes you and then it just goes up the ladder.
Hey,
All
time
right.
to go.
Time to go.
Oh,
What did we do
Famio.
with our sled dog?
Thanks for the something.
I don't know if we've. I think they were with us still.
Yeah. Do we take them on board, or like, are we gonna leave them here without knowing how long we'll be gone?
You have a pretty good idea. If you leave them here, they would make their way back to Goodmead.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll
That's
send.
probably the best.
I'll do the call. You know. The training we've done.
Yep.
Go back to good. Once they hear the words, go back to Goodmead, and I'll take a rock and I'll just go back to Goodmead.
Just go charging up after it.
And now there's a rock in the middle of this area that is just repeating every 5 seconds. Go back to Goodmead. Go back to Goodmead. Go back to Goodmead.
Just see the 6-pack and the, what is it, the hype train running
Yep.
away.
Yep. Excitedly disappearing towards the east.
Alright, yeah, let's get on.
Yeah, you see, quite a wild kind of like, you know, the main character from Brave. You know,
Okay.
the Celtic one, just like this shock of curly red hair. This woman kind of leans over. She's like, "Come on then, let's go." It's like human female. Kind of gestures for you to come up onto the deck.
Well, hello. Wait, how many people are here?
With Captain Thunderflash, there's 7 of us up here.
Oh, on a journey as well.
Well, just, you know, looking after the ship.
You
Every
don't
ship-
have to command the ship, would you?
No, but, you know, it needs looking after, and, you know, there's things to pull, and, you know, if we're on the surface, travelling for any length of time, we like to use the sails, give Angajuk a bit of a break, you know?
Oh, okay. Didn't know if it was stationary.
So, come on up. And she looks kind of like astutely at you, Mame. Ha! Nice to meet someone else. What's your speciality? Forests, mountains?
Books?
The wilds of the library, eh? She's a ranger as well.
Oh, okay. But actually, I think like her mama is gonna be the forest. Yeah.
Cool. Hey Kyle, how you doing, mate? Okay, so so you'll clamber up onto the boat, and you see Captain Thunderflash lounging in kind of like a large wooden chair, like it's up near the wheel of the ship, up on the aft castle, and he's talking quite seriously with a tiefling with reddish hued skin and quite curly, kind of wild horns going off in fairly random directions. And they've got kind of a bit of a wild, like shock of hair around the horns there, and that appears to be Mr. Marlowe, who he was referring to before. And looking around, you see various people like just readying stuff and preparing bits and bobs for Angajuk to submerge again. You can see an elf with the kind of trappings and things of what looks to be a druid, but a kind of ocean-based one. So there's various like corals and shells and things around them. And there's a large orc who looks to be some kind of warlock who's there, and then the human female that you just saw before, and then there is a kind of like a and you see a large loxodon, the elephant folk, come clomping up from below decks, and they kind of lift their trunk up and breathe in deeply.
Oh, nice to get a trunk full of fresh air before we go below. Oh, welcome.
He says to all of you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
And then the human ranger turns. She's like, Labnik, you need to secure the ropes before we go. And he's like,
Okay, just a moment.
and he goes and parkours up the rigging to the top. Because these are, I used the random character generator and just randomly generated like 6 level 1 single class characters, and he is a Loxodon, Way of the Shadow monk.
Oh my god, I love that.
And the orc, it works out very nicely actually. The orc warlock is his patron is a genie it's one of the water genies, so that works out nicely.
Ma-
Excellent.
Mame,
What?
since all of these creatures are under the water for most of their life, does this mean that even the Loxodon is a submarine?
Oh my god, don't do this now. Talon, not now. I'm thinking that maybe the vessel is a submarine. The vessel.
Well,
The
then,
ship.
would that just apply to you as well, Tom?
It's getting really existential very quickly.
I mean, there's a point where you were like fell underneath the waterfall of that ice when we were under there, and like those snake things tried to drown you. You were a submarine then, were you?
Maybe I've always been a submarine.
Somewhere deep down.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right.
Okay, and as things are rapidly getting prepared and underway, there is another similar clanking. Or this one's more like the kind of clanking that Tom makes when he's not being particularly cautious or trying to be stealthy. And you see a fairly heavily armored figure with a helmet under one arm come stomping up from below decks as well. But they start to hove into view, and then they don't hove much more because they're just a goblin paladin. Just comes clanking up. He's like, Captain Thunderflash, are we about ready to set sail? And Thunderflash looks over from the aft castle there, and he's like, it's like,
Ah, yes, Sir Derek, we are ready to go. As you will, Angajuk.
you just hear from beneath, over the edge of the ship. And how do you react as for the first time you are willingly submerged underwater?
Willingly.
I'm amidst an existential crisis.
All of her
So-
hair's on, floofed a little.
Yeah, Slobberchops panics, mummy. It's just like.
I'm just trying to calm Slobberchops, and like Barry's just like adventure.
Damn straight. But as the Santiano disappears beneath the ice and into the waters below, the waters do not come rushing in over the deck. As it submerges, a bubble of air remains around the ship, and all of the crew start automatically doing all the various adjustments and things that will help Angajuk to swim that much smoother, and they all start to sink as they go below the waves. And the characters don't know, but as players, I think it's only fair to say they are singing in French. Like actual Earth French. not undercommon.
This language is weird.
So,
not Dwarfish.
Captain Thunderflash vaults over from the aft castle and clumps down onto the deck.
Well then, I guess I should officially welcome you all aboard. There's plenty of space below decks for you to stow your gear. And, well, then I would enjoy the view if it's your first time.
And he strides up to the edge of the ship and just like points over as you plunge into the depths below. And you see this beautiful, like the underside of the ice is just these beautiful shapes that's just been shifted and moved by the movement of the water, and the ice flows bouncing up against each other. And as you start to dive down beneath, you see the shoreline starting to go down, almost like a mountainside continuing down under the water. And you can just see all these huge rock formations, and no beautiful corals or anything up in this part of the world, but just all these beautiful, amazing rock formations. And you see flashes of silver as these huge shoals of fish dart out of the way as Angajuk goes under. And you see, as you had heard, Soyala, Angajuk has several aquatic friends, submarine friends, if you will, and you see several dolphins and a couple of hammerhead sharks as well, just come swooping in and start to swim alongside Angajuk and enjoy the company as you go swimming down deeper and deeper and make your journey beneath the ice flows of the sea of moving ice. Haha.
I could just imagine Barry screaming his head off, just like, adventure! And I'm just like, alright, settle down. Don't go overboard.
Barry is full on Titanicking at the front. He's like, I'm the king of the world!
I can imagine that.
Also, I assume Valen or Valen or whatever her name was, that she's with us as well?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. And the kobolds too.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, how is she taking this?
She had expected this, so she's fine. She's looking around interestedly, perhaps trying to figure out how the air pocket works.
My crisis is finished.
Glad to hear it.
I've decided, since I spent the majority of my life on land, I am still a terrestrial animal.
Oh my god, that's what you're talking about. Okay, I'm just trying to like be calm while Slobberchops is sticking his claws into me, just like you know, like that when you try to put like a cat in the bath, but like he's just like on me, and we're surrounded by water.
Yeah. Yes. He does get distracted every now and then by a particularly large shoal of fish, but yes, 99% terror. So, is there anybody you would like to talk to? Anything you would like to discuss amongst yourselves as you wend your way into the depths?
Do we know how long this is going to take? Anyone?
We never asked.
Obadiah?
I guess so.
Yes, how may I be of assistance?
How long exactly does it take to get to this island?
I'm sorry, I did not hear from Angajuk where you were headed.
I think it should be Rimstaff. That's the name of the... Yeah, we've got Toln underwater as well.
That seemed appropriate.
They have so many different names. We have Grimstaff, we have Brimskull,
Hey, Johnny, mate. How you doing?
Yarmouth.
Oh, the island. The island where where the old frost giant fortress is, Grimskull.
With the big bird.
Yeah, that's nasty varmint.
Yeah, how far away is that?
I would say a couple of days or so. Ah, thank you.
Okay.
So,
I guess, yeah, we have quite a journey then.
I mean, if we swam direct, it would be a mite faster, but if Angajuke's taking you on, then they'll want to show you the sights.
Well, then, it seems like I have some time. Mame, can I see your bow? I need to make some adjustments, I think.
Yeah, I just hand you like my bow, and sadly, because I can't use it because I have no arrows anymore.
And so yeah, is your armor like magical and stuff?
No, not.
Just give it to me. Just give it to me.
Oh, okay.
I'm-
My shield or like my breastplate?
I mean, are either of them magic?
No.
Then give me just one.
Okay. Let's do the breastplate.
Okay.
Takes me a second to get it off, but yep.
Ignore the noises. I'll be back.
Silly stuff going on. Okay. So, Mame, there is a clump as a rather exuberant human ranger plops down next to you with a ocean of red hair herself just swimming around her head. Hey, so have you ever experienced anything like this?
No, nothing like this ever in my life. I've always been, like, in the forest, the mountains, like, on the sea, never under the sea. I said the word.
In many ways, there are forests and mountains down here too. She kind of gestures over, and you just see this huge kelp bed that you're just like going along the edge of. And you just see these various creatures and fish just darting in and out of the huge fronds of kelp, reaching up towards the surface and to whatever meager light comes through the ice. It's incredible, and it never gets old, I'll tell you.
This is certainly amazing. I could see someone specializing in this at Luskin. If they ever had the chance to go underwater, of course, we never have this chance to do this, like a chance to do this.
Yes, I don't think creatures like Angajuk are too common. Maybe if you have spellcasters at your university, maybe they could discover some kind of magic to create a similar effect.
That sounds like a fine idea. I will talk to my fellow colleagues once they go back to Goodmead.
Oh, you'll be returning. You're not continuing with us on our voyage.
No, we're going to go to fight the Frostmaiden
Goodness.
and stop her to stop this eternal winter.
Isn't she some kind of demigod?
Yeah.
What would you...
If you've seen what we've been through with like my group, you'll understand like why this seems so normal.
Right. Well, I hope I don't see too much of that while you're on board.
I hope so too. I really do hope we don't encounter anything under the sea.
Yes. In the sea, I guess, really.
In the sea,
Under the surface.
under the surface.
Yeah, I never thought about it. Hey, anyway. We are going to be going by some amazing places. I know, just the places Angajuk will show you. And as you continue on your way, every now and then, Angajuk will just let out a kind of like call out, which just like reverberates through the water around the ship and its air bubble, and you see as she calls out these just from time to time, it's a natural formation, just these incredible, like almost like mountain ridges, but down deep here under the ocean, with beautiful, like soaring valleys and peaks, like reaching up towards the surface, just as any in the spine of the world would reach up towards the sky, and incredible arches of rock, some big enough to Angajuk actually like swims down and goes actually through the arches, even with the ship and its masts on her back, and just these huge things. And Mame, your breath, sorry if you excuse me, putting a reaction on you, your breath is kind of taken away at one point where you just like come through a big archway like that, and then nestled on the side of the mountain ridges beyond that are just these huge structures. And the ranger Cami points out, she's like, storm giants. Those are still occupied though, so we'll give them a wide berth if you don't mind.
Occupied? Under here?
The storm giants live down here. Yes.
Frost giants? Storm giants?
Storm. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, but I believe the frost giants are usually on the surface.
Oh my. I can't believe they have structures under here. This is amazing.
Yeah, you just see this huge fortress, like abutted up against the side of this mountain underwater here, and continue swimming on your way past it. And is there anything particular? Tom, if you create those items, how are they doing?
Yeah, it's going fine. Long rest time. That's what it'll take me.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so yeah, you start setting up the process that will complete during the long rest. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything?
I would like to just help wherever I could. I don't know exactly what they need help with, whether that's cleaning or cooking. If there's any sick or
the elven druid kind of like floats across to you serenely at one point, and they're like,
"Oh,
greetings, welcome
hello.
to the Santiano."
Thank you. Sorry, you are
Valfine. And you?
Soyala.
A pleasure. I am the healer on board.
Oh.
I can sense a similar aura about you. And she kind of like looks at the air, like just beside your ear, like intently.
Well, yes, I do feel I am cleric of this party.
One reliant on the powers of the gods, off to slay another. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I've only recently found my way with my Bahamut.
I have heard the name, although they do not trespass down here too much.
Do you have a connection down here then?
Yes, I do. And she runs suddenly very quickly, like having just like kind of glided gracefully across before, and leaps onto the side rail of the ship, pushes off with both feet, and dives like almost like Superman, like 2 hands forward through the air pocket and into the water, and starts to move around and swim alongside, keeping easy pace with Angajuk, even though they're propelling you fairly speedily forwards with their huge tail sweeps. And you see she's clearly some kind of aquatic elf who's very used to being down here. And after a while, she swims up and then goes through the top of the air pocket and lands in the crow's nest and then swings down the rigging.
Wow.
Yes, somewhat of a affinity.
So, how exactly is there any other types of medicine that are down here? I'm not really quite.
All
You have to
sorts.
share with me.
It would be a pleasure. And during the voyage here, she does that. She shows you various like I think there are like certain like venoms and things from various things that which when used in certain quantities are actually beneficial, and just all of these different remedies and things, and different the medicinal properties of various seaweeds and things like that. Okay. So.
Yeah, and she'll share as well. Different things.
Yeah,
above
she's
top land.
equally fascinated by what's above. Yeah. And so you talk about that and continue in that direction. And unless there's anything else, then that comes to the end of that first journey part. And you don't really know the passage of time here, although it seems for the various people on the ship they kind of artificially create it by they have lanterns swinging to and fro on the various parts of the ship to illuminate the space, but then at a certain point they dim them all, and there is an evening meal of fish stew and it turns out that the orc warlock is also the galley chef, and he welcomes you all in, and you all kind of like gather around these long tables down in the galley and serve this evening meal. And Toln, you're very popular with the good meat.
Yeah. Everybody says that. Yeah, good meat.
They are not familiar with mead particularly, and not many not many bees down here, so they're all very interested to try it and enjoy that immensely. And then as that evening wraps up, everyone is welcome to take a rest.
Oh, final. Okay. So, just switch this here. Okay, let's try to stab it and see what happens. Tick. Okay. So y'all's gonna love it. So in the morning, Talon takes the bow and the breastplate and returns to his friends with it in tow. So I have these items for you. So, Mommy, I noticed that you have no arrows in your arrow sack.
Yeah.
Technical term.
What is it called? I don't know.
It's called a quiver. I know what it's called. Toln is bad at common. So I gave you the thing that I gave you before that shoots the lighty lights.
The lighty lights, the repeating long shot bow. Still have that. Oh, thank you very much, Tom. I'm very thankful for this. Now I don't have to worry about all my arrows running out, and I can shoot as many as I please.
And so here you are. This is your breastplate back, except better.
Oh, that's wonderful. What exactly does it do?
You see this rune here that you can probably read it. It's in Dwarvish, but it probably says like be better.
I'll take it to heart.
It should be more resistant to damage. It's a +1 mechanically.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you can both add those items for now. Somewhere Shadow goes, oh shit. Magical items turn off.
No, I told him that when he left, the shield would be turning off. In character. I told him that.
I think on some level he hoped it wasn't true. Okay. So.
And as we are going into a position where it may be more needed than my alchemy jug, I have temporarily swapped out my alchemy jug for a nice ring.
Okay. There's
A
an
ring-
immediate mutiny on the ship.
I know. Next, I was thinking about going for a homunculus, but of a keg. But
everyone must have a companion.
but the spell storing ring sounds like it is much more useful.
Okay. That's it. Okay, so you folks, get those presents from Taln in the morning, and as you've carried on your journey for a bit, you, Mame, are called up on top onto the deck there.
Okay, so
You make your way up to the aft castle, where the where the wheel and this kind of large, kind of almost throne-like, carved wooden seat is, and Jebediah's there. He's got like one booted leg like up over the arm, and he's just like chewing on he's got like a toothpick. He's just like getting breakfast out of his teeth.
My Gallus friend, I do hope that a night beneath the waves was ample rest for yourselves.
Very shaky. My companion, Slapper Chops here, not so much. But for me and my other companions, we had a nice rest.
I don't know. He looks like he's got a bit of a ship's cat look about him. I reckon he's got his sea legs.
I suppose so. Maybe maybe he's a bit calmer compared to like yesterday. He used to be like a sea cat. Like.
I knew it. You can see it right away. Now, Angajuk has told me that there is something you would be particularly interested in today.
Is it beer?
Oh no.
Why would the professor be interested in beer?
Oh, Mame would be interested in.
Yes.
I thought it was for me.
Oh.
No, you hold your tongue, metal man.
Would it be like the frost giant under settlements that are underwater?
Yes, indeed.
Oh.
There is a large settlement. Used to go by the name of Warthal Keel. It was subjected to some kind of calamity and plunged beneath the waves. But much of it remains reasonably intact, and Angajuk thought you might like to have a little poke around.
Oh, that sounds lovely, but as I am a Gallus, a terrestrial creature, I don't think I could swim or hold my breath long enough in this cold. What's so funny?
Don't you go fretting about that, little Gallus. Mr. Marlowe!
And you see that same wild-haired, wild-horned tiefling come up the steps to the aft castle, and it looks like he's got like a planting tray. It's like, it's like this big tray, big wooden shallow container, and there are like pots in it, And then growing out of the pots are all these plants and tendrils and vines.
Yeah, Captain, here you go. Found them. Yep, they're all shipshape, ready to go. Yep, yep. Well, thank you, Mr. Mardo. These here are something I'll warrant you folks. I'm sorry, I had a quick shave and did put my bonnet on. These here are something I'll warrant you folks have not experienced up on dry land. Have you ever heard of a getabout?
Has Mom ever heard about a getabout?
I'm afraid not.
Probably not. No, I have not heard of anything of the sort.
Well, do not fret, they are perfectly harmless. In fact, they are quite beneficial for the exploration of underwater locales, shall we say. Whilst not their original purpose, it is something they are uniquely beneficial for.
I see. How do we use these? What is it? Getabouts?
Getabout, yes. Well, if I might demonstrate, I assure you it is quite painless and quite harmless.
Painless. Okay.
Less, yes. If you could extricate that furry friend of yours from your neck region.
I just like pry slobber chops off my neck, like, and like put him down. I'm like, go back to the cabin. You could go on the bed for now. And I think that's
just as you do that, like a rather large halibut mistakenly just swims through the air bubble and just like on the aft castle deck, and like Slobberchops is just like with his paw, bends down, and just walks off with it, just like his head like shaking as it's flapping around in his mouth.
Fortuitous timing.
yes,
Now.
indeed.
And he reaches into one of the pots and pulls out one of the plants, and you can see that the tendrils and the vines are kind of like moving in his palms. And he's like, it is a little strange of a sensation, but as I said, trust me, it is completely harmless and painless. May I?
Where does that go, may I ask?
I'll place it at the rear of your neck, and it shall make itself comfortable.
But the Mommy does that internally. Because she's had many things in her body due to sea hags and whatnot, and I'm like, inside screaming, outside, oh, alright. This is fine.
This is fine.
And put it on.
He gently places it, and you can feel this slight weight on your shoulders. And then there's a slightly unpleasant sensation as it grows and wraps around you and attaches to you, but not physically, just like clinging onto the outside of your armor and clothes and things. It's not like growing into you or anything.
Okay, thank God.
No, you're good. And then there's a and long vine, like almost like branch-like parts of this plant extend, and Soyala and Tom, from the side, you see that Mame has a new set of wings to go with her Gallus wings, as almost butterfly-like wings extend out from these branches and tendrils and vines of this creature. And there is a shimmer, even though you're in this air pocket, there's a shimmer around her shoulders and head, and it looks like there's almost another artificial like source of air being produced around. And I shall show you a picture. So we do have official art for gadabouts. Here they are.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh.
And Jebediah turns to the two of you. if you'll be needing similar such arrangements, we do have a few cuttings from the original.
I mean, for movement, I'll need it.
I see.
Because we'll be in the ocean, and you know.
I don't think these wings will help. They do not give you any kind of ability to swim or fly.
There's no movement apparatus included in this.
No, it is just a creature which produces its own air.
Oh, I'll be fine.
I see. He looks curiously at you.
Oh, doesn't like your human brain need some sort of oxygen?
I don't breathe.
Okay.
Jebediah looks very curious. I met some folks like you one time long ago. They weren't so friendly as you, though.
As a racial fact, just for you all to be aware, I don't eat, drink, or breathe. Or sleep, for that matter.
True. My Tabaxi friend, might I interest you in the ability to breathe?
Yes, please.
He's like, sold.
The quickest sale that Thunderflash has ever made?
I think so. Well then, here you go. And he does the same to you in this similar organic abilities gifted to you. And as he finishes up, he points over the side. There it is. And you see a large bluff of rocky kind of cliffs reaching up towards the surface, but they don't quite reach the surface. And then there at the bottom, there is a huge tumble of broken stone and a deep, dark ravine at one point, and then these giant-sized buildings. There it is. That's the one. The ruins of Wartharkiel. Oh, that'll come in handy, my friend. And he turns to you, Tom. They do not have any lanterns lit down in the city anymore. And Soyala and Mame kind of curiously turn to what Jebediah is saying, and Tom has a band of runic symbols going across his torso from his left shoulder to his right hip. And they are glowing and giving off light.
Does this normally happen?
Is this new?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this new?
It's never happened before. But you've been with him. You've never seen it.
Tone,
Don't.
you're reacting to something.
So I am.
Are you? Perhaps maybe your parts were taken from.
Do you feel okay?
Oh.
I feel normal.
Something you do feel, Tom. You get a slight. How do I describe it? It's almost like a slight ping. Almost like a sense of something that is connected with these symbols. So you get this sensation as they illuminate, and it's coming from. There's a 4-story tall building.
I'm feeling a slight ping. Almost like there's a connection to these runes.
There it is.
It's coming from this 4-story building.
Perhaps we should go explore this 4-story building so we can see what this ping comes from.
Yeah.
I think that would be the most adequate method of progression.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what's around these ruins, but probably should be careful.
Yeah, I would advise that, going forward with a certain degree of caution. There are various creatures about this area of ocean, not so friendly as Angajuk and I. And also, when you jump off the edge of the boats, actually, you know what? Let's make you walk the plank. And Mr. Marlowe kind of cackles and kind of skips up and down. He's like, "Yeah, all right, yes, walk the plank, yes, walk the plank." And he goes over, and him and some of the other crew members extend a plank out of the side of the ship and through the air bubble, so you can just walk out instead of having to jump precariously. Who goes first?
Oh, I'll go first.
Okay. So, Tom, as you make your way along this long stretch of wood, it's a strange, almost like what's that old movie? Is it The Abyss? There's this wall of shimmering water in front of you at the edge of the air pocket, and you kind of like almost curiously kind of reach towards it and kind of pull back suddenly, like a fish just goes swinging past, but just carries on its merry way. You're just gonna step through? How do you do this?
Tom, can you even swim?
I was wondering about that, if you're gonna sink or not.
Are you gonna be okay?
Maybe you should go first, Mama.
Oh, okay.
So there's an awkward moment as you shuffle around each other on the plank.
No. Toln will go backwards, T2 style.
It's through the water.
Because I was just thinking about it. Last time he went in the water, he just dropped. He just sank, and we had to use all our power to pull him up.
It's true. So,
Tom,
as you step
trying to drown me, but
yes, as you step through, you say, "I know now why you swim," and disappear through into the water, and then you do start to sink, but not like plummeting like a stone. But you do start sinking through the water, and then hit the bottom, and there's kind of a boom of silt and sand that billows up around where you hit the ground. And you're standing on the edge of this rocky bluff, looking down towards these buildings in various states of disrepair and ruin. Speaking of, actually, I should take you over there, shouldn't I? Oop. Here we are.
Toln is having, as he's standing at the edge of this rocky bluff, has the realization that he and the rest of the Frostforged could just reoccupy this place.
True. And so yeah, Mummy, you just follow?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. You see, whilst the wings on these strange plant-like creatures don't beat and propel you at all, they do give you a certain ability to kind of glide through the water, kind of spreading out almost like a parachute would in the air, and it makes swimming much easier. And there's a kind of slight trepidation of stepping through the wall, but as you get close to it, you see the wall of the edge of the air pocket be pushed forward as your own air pocket emerges from it. And Toln, you look up and back towards it, and you see the two of them step out with these kind of amorphous bubbles of air, just undulating and moving around the plant-like creatures that have attached to their shoulders. And Thunderflash told you before you left, there's no limit. They just produce their own air as part of their biological processes, and
it doesn't. It's never going to run out. So. Please feel free to explore. Where would you like to go?
I think that building, right?
Let's go towards that 4-story building that I'm getting pings from.
Okay.
So it is. Let me show you. So yeah, as you make your way like over towards the edge of the little kind of rocky bluffs there, you can see large columns that are there where you are, Ton, that are kind of leading, marking almost like an entranceway into this collection of buildings and, you know, broken areas of rock. And you can see, let's see here. Yeah, there's some severe looking kind of square building here. So I got the dynamic lighting on just for the walls and things, so you can't see inside. But there's a big building here. Of course, everything is giant size, so there's these huge doorways, and there are like doors closing some of these doorways off. But it looks like with the in the water, it looks like they could be moved easier than if we were on dry land. Because there are a large amount of timber in the doorways as well, which would be buoyant to a certain extent. And then you can see, let's see, there is a large building here. That's one thing you can see, and then the 4-story building is this one right here.
Well, that's the one I'm interested in.
Now, on the corner, as you are looking at it from Angajuk's direction, there has been quite a large amount of destruction here on that top left corner, and you can see on the 4 levels that continues up. And Soyala, you see on the 3rd floor, you see movement through that gap in the wall.
Seems we're not alone. There's something in there. Looks like on the 3rd floor, so we'll probably have to come across it if we're going up.
Now, Mame,
Just
how
be
do you?
prepared.
Sorry, Sienna, go for it.
No, just be prepared.
Indeed. Mame, how do you react? This is a full frost giant settlement here, preserved remarkably well by the ocean.
I take a breath, and then I just like open my wings and glide down through the water, taking it all in, and just like wish I had something to like document everything. Why must we?
We don't got any waterproof paper?
Yeah, pushing. The note taking will have to be later on.
Yeah. And it's just incredible. It's just like so preserved by water, but also what worries me is like what happened here with like the
Calamity.
destruction.
Yeah.
I mean, you would know from your experience that having a route around and a look through the various properties and things would probably shed some light on that.
Time to peruse and sneak, but also listening to Soyala and trying to calm down.
We'll go down.
Being quiet would be the goal.
We'll go down this and proceed in this direction, I suppose.
You can see those beautiful columns there, Mame. Just, kind of long line, like marking off some kind of ancient square. You can see the old flagstones still there, like, square forms on the various parts of this square. And you can see it reaches over to that other structure there, which, let's see.
This one?
Yeah, exactly. To the east there, and you kind of get a little bit excited because the architecture of that reminds you of treasuries and vaults that you've seen in other frost giants, like etchings and documents and things. The buildings to the south look like temples. Both of them, like the big one that's like center south, and the 4-story one as well. They both look like temples, but the way they're built and designed, they look like they're dedicated to different gods. And those, the big columns that you're moving by there, they have a strange kind of like swirling, like almost like octopus tentacle design up past them.
Fascinating. And I'm just like walking around the column. Excitedly, but quietly, just like you just see like Mama skimpering around the column, just looking and observing it, just like, oh my god, what is this? There's a treasure there. But just like, keep calm. Guys, I think we should go east. But no, first comes like the ping. First comes the ping. The ping comes first. Let's go to the temple. But quietly, like you said. Because you saw someone, right, Soyala?
I saw something. I don't know what exactly.
Take it back.
Alright, tell him, let's go. Follow your ping. Follow your ping. I was about to say follow your heart, but no, it's a ping.
You said the undead thing.
Oh.
Okay. Now, would you like to go through... Oh, Mac, thank you. Would you like to go through the ruined section there, or would you like to go towards any kind of doors if you want to like go around the exterior and find them?
Are there any obvious doors on this side?
On the side you're on, no.
Let's go through the ruin section. Sounds like fun.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, you make your way. There's that large kind of gash in the sea floor there you can see. And sorry, I'm zoomed all the way out there. Yeah. Now, as you all step down into that kind of strange, long, gash in the sea floor, a very strange feeling washes over you. And all of you feel the intense urge to pray for your safety and pray to whatever entities are in power here. Do you... I'm not going to make you roll like a wisdom save or anything, but do you like follow that urge to say a prayer for your safety, or not?
I will follow that urge to pray for my safety. So I'll would Mama know the type of like gesture, like way for like frost giants, like how they would pray? Any depictions in the past like this, like that?
I think it's not so much the gestures or the physical method of praying. It's the intent and the utterance of words.
Okay.
I would rather resist if I could.
Yeah, there's no let's have a look here. Yeah, you just feel an overwhelming desire to pray.
Yeah, Taln says something like, well, I sure hope whatever's in there doesn't kill me. So
as a prayer, do you say that? Or just as a comment?
As a...
You feel the urge to call on a divine force.
So Taln has, upon feeling the urge, being someone that's more arcanely magically focused,
yes,
interprets this as an attempt to curse him.
Okay.
Of some variety.
Mm-hmm.
So while he he is resisting the urge to pray, he is going to make a sarcastic comment about it. Like, sure, I mean, if you are a deity, please don't let me die. That would be preferable.
Okay, so it's not an actual prayer.
No.
Noted.
And
Mame.
Mame will
Yes.
be like falling all over it because she's just overwhelmed with joy and also just like, wow, I'm so grateful to be able to be here. It's such a great experience, but I also hope we get through this safely.
Okay. Mame, could you make me a wisdom saving throw, please?
What did I get? What is that? It's a 9.
A 9. Okay. You feel an immense presence somewhere below. Deeper than you are already here in this submerged ruin. And you feel the focus of something's attention turned on you.
Gosh.
And it almost overwhelms you and just grips your mind in an intense spike of pain. And I'm afraid with that 9,
Me with all my slug and psychic abilities
you
just does nothing.
take 16 psychic damage.
Of course, of course.
Hey.
But thank God that we have that temporary 10.
There you go. Takes it up sometimes. Maybe it was the presence of the blessings of the Morning Lord which angered this other creature.
Mame,
So yeah.
what's
Yeah.
going on?
Don't pray. Don't. There's something here. Deep in the water. It noticed.
Tom
Oh.
points at the giant gash that they're standing next to, and it's like, yeah, I mean, this conspicuously tentacle-shaped gash in the seabed.
You know what, Tom? I was just really excited to see some frost giant architecture. I was in over my head. I'm gonna be more focused from now on. Let's.
That's okay. I get excited sometimes too.
So
Especially.
should we hurry?
I think so. My head. My poor slug.
And
I was recently very excited to learn about submarine life. But let's continue.
so you continue around there. Sorry, Mummy. If you'd passed it, would have been very cool. There was a benefit to the possible benefit to that.
No, all my wisdom for nothing.
Curse you, wisdom. Curse you.
I should have helped you. It just occurred to me that I could have helped you. I'm sorry.
Is there ever anything else you can do to her? Any bonus?
I could have given her a +5, but it's too late now.
Well, it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
It's okay. It was DC. It was a DC 15.
Oh.
Okay, so you make your way into that ruined part of the temple-like structure, and have a quick look here. You do see one of those huge, giant-sized doors in front of you. Your tokens are not representative of the size here. These rooms are much bigger. So, are you going to push open the door ponderously then? It's
Yes.
it's here on the wall here.
I am going to do that.
I will also help open a door in honor of Shadov.
This one's for you, buddy.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Nicely done.
What if Shadow comes back and he's like, yeah, I kind of grew out of opening doors. It's kind of a fad.
Don't even mention. Oh no.
Oh God! How could you?
Okay.
That's what saved his life.
So, as you push open the door and it swings ponderously back and reveals the gigantic chamber beyond, you can see tattered tapestries and cold, rusted braziers decorating this chamber. And in the middle of the room, Tom, if you could step in there, my friend.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't have a token for this, but in the middle of the room, like slap bang in the middle of the chamber, there is a giant.
Like alive?
From the coloration and things, you would say a frost giant. They look female, and not a skeleton, not a frost giant skeleton. And they are sat cross-legged in the center of the room. Their eyes closed, and this vast mane of white hair suspended in the water and wafting around as the motion of the door has moved the water in here. And their flesh looks, a little sallow, a little gaunt on the bones inside. They seem to be either alive somehow or just a well-preserved body. Is there anything you can do?
So Yola, do you want to maybe do a check on the... But I do believe it might be dead.
Yeah, I can check, do a medicine check on it to see what its condition is.
Hello?
That's the other option.
In giant.
Well, I mean, that won't explain much of its situation, but yeah.
As Tom calls out,
oh.
was Ciala like starting to walk towards it as you said that, or before she walked past you? Tom.
That when they were discussing about what to do, Tom just says, hello.
Okay. And as you call out, you see the eyelids of this creature slowly rise open, and the eyes are just milky white. There are no coloration in them anymore. And the head slowly turns to the three of you. The hair wafting slowly as they turn towards you. And she answers Tol in giant. Who is it who disturbs my attempts to hear that which has departed and been gone so long? This huge form turns towards you, and slowly a leg rises up out of the crossed position, and they push off the ground and stand before you, tattered robes wafting in the water along with the hair still, as the eyes just regard you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb your attempts to listen. We can just kind of move along if you want to not be disturbed. We just thought the place was empty. And I got these runes that seem to be calling me here, so I wanted to check out what was going on.
She leans towards you, seemingly able to see through these eyes regardless. Why does one so small bear our markings? She is a frost giant.
I'm honestly, that's a good question, and it's frankly why I'm here.
Why do you two accompany this one? And she looks at you, Soyala Mummy.
She wants to know why you're here.
Well, we're his friends.
We're here to support you, and me just like in awe of seeing her and her alive, and just like, oh my.
Mummy, frost giants cannot breathe underwater.
It's not a frost giant.
She's a frost giant.
She's a frost giant, but she can't.
Frost giants cannot breathe underwater.
What is she? Tolan, can you ask her how she's able to be here even though frost giants can't breathe underwater? I'm fascinated in awe, but also just really curious as to why she's able to be here for as long as she was and still move.
Sorry, my friend doesn't speak giant, but she studies frost giant. Ruined on the surface. She thinks it's a very interesting culture, but she's very curious about your.
She celebrates the ruination of my people.
I wouldn't say celebrates. I would say it's more like mourns the ruination and longs for its intellectual reawakening. I think is a more accurate description of what she does. However,
I need a persuasion check.
Can I take a action and tell Tom, whatever you're saying, I think you're doing a really good job at interpreting, and add my Gallus feature of
Inspiring words, kind of thing.
inspiring for a plus D4.
Also D4. Okay.
Okay. And I think actually, Mame, you are also able to impart to Tom some certain archaic frost giant niceties and formal greetings, which he can then use his language abilities to convey properly. So that would also give advantage on the roll as well.
Okay. It's gonna be a 23.
Wow. She nods slowly. I am Yalaga, priestess of Valastroth. It seems my dedication to duty and they who dwell in the deep has allowed me to serve
beyond the existence of my community. They are all gone. But if you do not intend to disrupt this place, you may visit a while.
Very magnanimous and reasonable.
I'm sorry, but if there's no more of them, what else is nearby? I'd seen movement above.
I have
Third
been
floor.
deep in meditation, trying to hear anything from Balastroth, since they have been gone so long. I am not aware of anyone else here. Perhaps some of the local wildlife.
Right.
Thankfully, they cannot open these doors as you can. And I have not been eaten whilst elsewhere. Where did you see this?
Well, it was just a couple more floors above on the third floor.
Oh. I thought you meant in the other buildings. Yes, the third floor. Ill-advised, in my opinion. This is why I did not join them. I think they will only anger Valastroth. But they are welcome to try. Up above those you saw, they are cultists of the Kraken.
You know what? That makes sense.
And I think that's a nice little spot to stop. And a massive thank you to Hooli for the inspiration for me. Thank you very much. I shall look forward to using that next time. So, you have arrived in Wartharkiel, this frost giant city, seemingly plunged into the depths here. And make sure I don't forget Mame. I'm sure Mame certainly as a character would make sure I wouldn't forget. She is actually willing to explain what happened here. So sorry, I was just talking about what was right in front of us at the time. Thank you, everybody. So, everyone, do join us next time as our adventurers continue searching through these ruins. What is it that is calling to Tuln? What is Valastroth? This power beneath that has damaged Mame slightly. And what will happen with this priestess, somehow still dedicated and practicing the following of this Valastroth here, even though they are beneath the waves and their people are long gone. And we shall return to Jebediah Thunderflesh and the crew of the Santiano very, very soon.
A massive thank you to these lovely players of mine and everyone over there in chat. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for the gifted subs as well. Wonderful, wonderful people as always. Pub just like directing a magnet at you there, Tom. It's like... Okay, so a huge thank you to everyone who's joined us today. Welcome on in, everybody. There is time for you still to jump into our giveaway from Troll Lord Games. Your choice of any single digital product from their catalogue, excluding the bundles, I'm afraid. But yeah, go figure. Please do head on over and type !enter in that chat box over there if you have not already. And after I do a quick roundup of what's coming up on the channel, we will be moving on and drawing a lucky winner. And if you were lucky enough to win one of the fantastic giveaways last Friday with that incredible one-shot that we had with our friends Reddit GM, Dead Aussie Gamer, AJ Winters, and new friend Kendall from One For All, the incredible YouTube channel. Check that out, guys, if you do get the chance. Let me see if I've still got the command going. They do very funny D&D skits and things over on YouTube. Yes, it's still there. Head on over to their Deer Stalker Pictures on YouTube. And there's their links over there. Kendall was fantastic. First time on the channel over here last time. Hey, good luck, Jort. It was a pleasure to have them here. And I just about managed to get through the story with those shenanigan inducing players that we had. So, as we move on through the week, it is going to be a pleasure to share our adventures with you. I hope you can join us. We will be nothing happening tomorrow. Well, unless you're in the North America or South America for that matter, that part of the world. We will be back in the Abyss for Out of the Abyss. No, we're not in the Abyss. Not in the Abyss. What was I saying? We'll be back in the Underdark. Excuse me. We'll be back in the Underdark for Out of the Abyss on Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, depending where in the world. And there is some new character art incoming. Our new friend Mike, our new player, the half-drow paladin, speaking of paladins, has joined the party, and their character art is finished. I was a very good boy. I saw the message pop up that it was finished, and I didn't look at it yet. I concentrated on the session, but I'm very excitedly going to jump over and have a look at that once we're offline here. If you would like a sneak peek of that before Thursday, please jump into our Discord, give us a follow, and I'll give you that Discord invitation. I will be sharing the art there very soon. It is beautiful. It is the fantastic Ryutoshi over on Instagram. Let me give them a shout out while we're here. Let me get this straight. Of the Abyss art. Yes, okay, there they are. The fantastic Ryutoshi, aka Saladman, over on Instagram. Beautiful, beautiful art. Do check out that. If you would like to see some great stuff and perhaps commission them yourself. Speaking of, this beautiful art that we have right here is from the wonderful Emma City Art. Get this right. Of the Frostmaiden. Nope, what did I miss? Oh, wrong way around. Excuse me. Sorry, folks. I can type. Rime of the Frostmaiden art. Aha, second time lucky. Yes, this beautiful character art here is from the incredible Emma City Art over on there on Twitter, and that wonderful introduction that you saw at the start is from our good friend Patch at QuestJunkiesUK, who you may have seen was announced as being a cast member in our summer campaign, our mini summer campaign, The High Seas. There are going to be certain piratical shenanigans going on very, very soon, also with some fabulous art from Emma. We are going to be joined by Patch from QuestJunkiesUK, Tally, who is a gaming streamer, and we'll be doing her first D&D. Very excited to welcome her. Our good friend Vicky from previous Sirenscape fame, and of course the fantastic artist Kaz the DM, who is our Candlekeep Mysteries artist. An all-Brit party, a bunch of British pirates taking to the high seas. That is coming in July, and let me give you a peek there. So do keep your eyes open for that. So the art and everything will be popping up in the Discord as that gets finished. So please jump on over there, give us that follow, and we can get you into that Discord and get all of the sneak peeks. All right. Yes, indeed, Ghost Table Guild. Welcome in. Right. Okay, everyone. So, as we are rolling through here, that will bring us on to later on Thursday, where we're back with our friends in Barovia and beyond. Then it's on to Wild Beyond the Witchlight, Jacinta's Tyranny, and nothing this Saturday. Not this time. But I don't think so, right? Yeah, we had Candlekeep Mysteries last week, so yeah, nothing this week. But we will see you all very, very soon. Good luck to everyone who's jumped in the giveaway. Thank you for jumping in there. Good luck to all of you. Let us close those entries up now. Okay, there we go, folks. So, last chances are gone there. We will be sending a coupon to get a fantastic Troll-Lord Games product of your choice to Papa Dragon. Congratulations, my friend. A very sorry, Jot. Next time, mate. Next time. We often have giveaways here, so please join us again, and hope you are able to get something soon. Thank you for joining us. Regardless, so yeah, congrats to Papa, who I assume is still around. Maybe, or maybe will Johort get the chance? Oh, still here. Yes, good. Okay, just checking the online people there. Okay, yeah, you are, mate. Okay, congratulations. Yay. I will be sending that to you very, very soon, and we can get that sorted. You're very welcome. Right, okay, folks, that's all for today. Do stick around and grab yourself some dream pies for sticking with the raid. Let's see who is on at the moment. Let's have a look here. Okay, speaking of that fabulous one-shot last Friday, one of the people who joined us was the fabulous AJ Winters, and she is on at the moment doing some world building with her fantastic world that's coming up and being on screen soon. So let us go raiding over there. So everyone, do stick around for that raid there. Grab yourself some of those channel points. Make sure you click over to AJ's channel so it registers those views, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. But that's all, folks. So stick around for the raid if you've got them. Let those phoenixes fly. But till next time, as we like to say around these parts, Oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi.
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 Thank you.